Hello, this is Mike Rushitar, freshman counselor at Prairie Point. This slideshow um, will be useful for you as you prepare to register for your freshman year at Prairie Point, and very useful for parents as they help their children make decisions for next year. The purpose of this slideshow is to help you get familiar with the Prairie Point 9th grade academy, to learn about the transition from 8th grade to 9th grade and beyond. We're going to briefly describe course offerings and graduation requirements. And if we were in person, we would answer some questions about next year. However, you can always feel free to email me any questions you might have. One of the questions I get a lot is, why is the academy unique? One of the things that makes our academy different from many of the other schools in the area is that we are on a one-to-one computer system, which is our digital literacy initiative. So all of our students will have MacBook Airs, and in and of itself, the computer is just another piece of technology, but our teachers have really taken that to the next level, and students are doing some really amazing work in classrooms with these computers. And it's really much different than what you would find in many other traditional schools. Our students in the 9th grade are also on core teams for math, English, and science. And this allows teachers to collaborate with each other on student solutions. They can also collaborate and create cross-curricular units. Students in our building also have access to elective courses at a much higher level than maybe what you would find in other schools. In a traditional high school, freshmen are the low people on the totem pole, and they may often get bumped out of an elective course because there's no room. At Prairie Point, for the most part, you get the electives that you'd like to take, with very few instances where that doesn't happen. There's also increased academic support through our Learning Resource Center, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Students have access to many adults who can work with them in small groups or one-on-one and provide them with increased academic support in any of their core classes. And our teachers in our 9th grade academy are really only teaching freshmen, and so they are 9th grade experts, which is different than what you'd find in other schools as well. Kids often ask me, how does this compare to 8th grade? As you would expect, the courses here are much more rigorous. The expectations for the quantity and the quality of the work will increase. We often see that there's more multitasking in 9th grade, which means even within one class, teachers may be asking you to work on several different assignments at one time. So you might be working on 2 or 3 different projects all at once, and that's different than maybe what you would find in 8th grade. Students are asked to advocate for their own learning as well. So, in other words, students will need to make sure that they ask good questions. It's going to be important that they raise their hand, that they're not shy about going up and talking with their teachers. If you don't tell your teacher that you don't understand something or you don't know something, the teacher is going to move on. We are asking our students to be advocates for themselves, and if they don't know how to do that, we will help them to learn that skill. In 9th grade, you're also earning credits, which is different than what you'd be doing in 8th grade. Everybody in 8th grade moves on to 9th grade, but in 9th grade, you must pass courses, you must gain credits in order to move on to the high school. What you do in 9th grade also goes on a transcript, which is different than what happens in 8th grade. So what you do now matters and will go on that transcript and will follow you for the next 4 years and into college. And we also see that in 9th grade there is increased maturity. Students will act more mature. Between that 8th and 9th grade year, we do see some growth. So what courses do you have to take at Prairie Point? Every student at Prairie Point in the 9th grade must take a full year of math. They will take English 9. They will take a full year of physical science. They will take 1 semester of social studies, which is called Topics in Global Social Issues, and they will all take a full year of health and fitness. So every one of our students will have these 5 courses in common. The elective choices are a little different. So students can take a full year of Spanish or German if they choose. They can take 1 semester of industrial tech or the full year of the engineering program. Intro to Engineering is a prerequisite to take Principles of Engineering or Biotechnical Engineering at the high school. It is also a collegiate level course. It is very rigorous. It's greater than a 5-point scale versus a 4-point scale. And there's a large amount of reading involved in Intro to Engineering as well. Students can also choose to take choir, band, or both band and choir if they choose. Our graphic arts program consists of drawing, painting, digital art, and ceramics, which are all 1 semester each. Infotech and Intro to Business are also 1 semester courses. Street Law is a social studies elective. Creative writing and lit through drama are both English electives. Family consumer science and life and careers are each both 1 semester courses as well. So how do you get the classes that you want? First thing I would say is take time to read through the course descriptions that are in the handbook, otherwise known as the Program of Studies, which should be in your possession. Be thoughtful as you complete your course registration sheet. Really take the time to think about the courses that you want to take and make sure that you're writing those classes down. As I schedule over the summer, I would tell you that if kids want more, if we have more students who register for Family Consumer Science, then I will build more sections of Family Consumer Science. If more students want Industrial Tech, I will build more sections of Industrial Tech. So make sure that you put down and be thoughtful as you complete that course registration sheet. Have that registration sheet turned into your homeroom teacher on time. Actually, that'll be turned into me at conferences on January 28th and February 4th. If in August you decide that you don't want to take Family Consumer Science, you don't want to take Industrial Tech, or you don't want to take drawing, then we can have a drop add period. So after you get your schedules in August, if you think that you'd like to make some changes, please contact me at that time and we can make that happen. And students will have up through that first week of school to make any changes they would like to make as well. I always say there's never a 100% guarantee that you're going to get everything that you want, but the best chance that you have is to make sure what you want appears on this registration sheet. For instance, I have a bunch of students right now who want to get into Family Consumer Science who didn't register for it last spring. I don't have enough space for those students, so they're not going to get it. But if you want something like that, your best bet is to register for it now. Do you need a study hall? Most of our freshmen will. Always remember that the course rigor and expectations are going to increase dramatically. Demands for time after school is going to increase. If you're out for football or track, or cross country or volleyball, many nights you're not getting home until 7 o'clock, and that's just from practice. Game nights you might not be home until 10 o'clock at night. So, you're going to have limited time to study if you're going to be involved in athletics. A study hall is where we get access to academic support. It's hard for you to access the LRC if you don't have that study hall built into your day. If you do want both band and choir and a foreign language specifically, it will be difficult to get you a study hall. We can still make that work, primarily because band and choir don't generate homework outside of school. And one thing kids will ask me, well, I want to make sure I get enough credits to graduate. Well, if you take 8 credits, which would be a full 8-period day each semester, and you did that all the way through high school, you'd graduate with 32 credits. You only need 24 to graduate. So technically you'd be doing an extra year of high school, and I'm not sure too many people would want to do that. We don't give out an award for the kid who gets the most credits at graduation, so 7 credits, 7 classes each semester, in my mind, is a good way to go, at least for your freshman year. If for some reason you get into you decided that you want to take 8 periods and you want to take 8 classes full semester, you can still drop a course up through the 12-week mark and not have any penalty. It'd be like it didn't happen. If you drop that course after the 12-week mark, then we have to take it F for the semester. I mentioned the LRC earlier. That is our Learning Resource Center. It's located across from the library. There is increased academic support there. We have several adults in that room who give help to students for organization, study skills, and content support. Some students will be assigned to the LRC instead of study hall, and some of those students will be assigned at the beginning of the school year. If that's you, we'll be meeting with you and talking with families probably in May before we make those decisions. We also allow students to come in as drop-ins to get extra help. and it's also open every day after school until 3:45. All right, so when will you know your schedule? Scheduling will finish up most likely in late June. Students will be able to pick up their schedules at August registration. If you would like changes, you can call, email, or stop in once registration begins. Students can drop and add elective courses to the first week of school as well. Graduation requirements, just as a reminder, you need 4 credits in English, 3 in math, 3 in science, 3 in social studies. You'll need 2 credits in physical education, 0.5 of vocational credits, and 8.5 credits of electives for a minimum of 24. You also will need to pass your MAP test, which is a 230 in reading and 241 in math. You'll need to score at least a 3.2 in a 5-point scale of the district writing assessment. You must complete the senior portfolio and presentation, and you also need to get certified in CPR, which you will do during health and fitness in 9th grade. Point activities, this is a pretty comprehensive list of the activities we have here in our building. I would like to mention no pass, no play, which is a state law. If you are failing courses at any of the grading periods, which would be each of the 9-week marks, then you will be ineligible for a minimum of 30-day period of time. Other frequently asked questions I get from parents and students. Summer PE, this is not available for point students. However, it may be an option between your freshman and sophomore years. Driver's education, there is a spring course offered at Kirkwood, but that course is offered at Point starting in March, but there's really only about 30 seats in that class. If you have any questions or you want to get in that course, you must direct those to Kirkwood's Continuing Education Department. Point only provides them the space. There is another course that's offered through the high school between your freshman and sophomore years during the summer, but you would register for that through the high school store. Do you need a foreign language? You don't need one for graduation from Prairie High School. However, I would say that if you think that you're going to someday go to a college or university and get a 4-year degree, it would be important for you to take as much foreign language as you can possibly get. And that would be 3 or 4 years of a single foreign language, not 2 years of German and then 2 years of Spanish. So if you think that you're going to graduate from a 4-year school, for sure, get as much foreign language as you can. If you don't think that you're going to go to a 4-year school, if you think that you're going to go to a trade school, you're going to go to Kirkwood for a couple of years, you're going to go to a business school or something along those lines, then I would say you probably don't need to take that much foreign language. But for sure, if you think you're going to get a 4-year degree, you will need as much foreign language as you can get. What can you do right now to prepare for college? Some things I tell students: make sure that you challenge yourself academically at Point. Get used to taking tough classes. Figure out a way that you can get yourself organized. Organization really is the key to success, whether it's using a paper agenda or a smartphone or using your computer. Find a way to get yourself organized that works for you. Most successful people that I know are organized. Get comfortable with all sorts of different types of technology, with computers, with tablets, smartphones. Get used to using the software on these devices. Get involved in as many activities as possible. In my conversations with college admissions people, most of them will say that they're not as they would rather have students come to their campus who are involved in lots of different activities. It's not always the 4.0 student that they're interested in. They want a good student who's also good with people, who is a leader, who's involved in lots of different activities. Continue to explore I Have a Plan Iowa, which I'll talk about in a second, and learn about the RAI, which is the Region's Admissions Index, and this is the web address where you can find out more information about that. If you think that you're going to participate in athletics in college, make sure that you, when you get to the high school in 10th grade, that you talk with your counselor up there about the NCAA or NEIA clearinghouse. What can parents of freshmen do to prepare for college? If I was in your position, I would be looking at www.icansucceed.org and learn more about the Iowa College Access Network, and they will talk with you specifically about financial issues. I Have a Plan Iowa. Students have been working on that over the last couple weeks. This is a career and college database specifically directed towards Iowa students. It is the most comprehensive career and college database I've ever seen. Has pretty much every piece of information you could possibly ask for. There are two components of it, one which is a career assessment piece. The second part is the four-year plan. The four-year plan is an online planning document that can be changed by students at any time. Sometimes kids or parents may think it's registration for freshman classes or high school classes, but that's not the case. It's just a planning document. So students have their passwords and their usernames, and parents, they can log in and show you what they've done. You'll also get a copy of this at conferences. So this is what the four-year plan would look like, and they would fill in some more information about careers or elective choices. So upcoming dates. Registration sheets need to be returned to me at conferences on January 28th and February 4th. This Friday, registration forms and the program of studies will be sent home with any student whose parent did not attend either of our parents' night events. So I will be there at conferences on January 28th and February 4th to collect those registration forms and the program of studies myself, and I'll also be there to answer any questions that parents may have about registration for next year. This is what a sample form of the registration form would look like. So as you look at this, you'll notice I put in Spanish and digital arts, street law, and I did not put math in. You don't need to do that because I will mass load math for all of our students. And you'll notice I already have course numbers in for English 9, Physical Science, PE, and Global Social Issues. I put in a study hall for this sample, and I just wrote that in. There's no course number for study hall, so you can leave that blank. So when you come to conferences on the 28th and on the 4th, you should bring with you this registration form and then turn that in to me at that time. So this is my contact information. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call, or you can shoot me an email. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you very much.